This is the AFERIY P210 portable power station. It kept my refrigerator and a continuous positive airway pressure machine running through a neighborhood outage without a hiccup, and it did it quietly enough that I did not think about it once the lights went out. I see this as a serious portable power station for people who want dependable backup at home and a reliable power source for trips. If you have a small cabin, a camper van, a backyard workspace, or you just want something you can trust when storms roll through, this fits that role. It is not a pocket battery. It is a compact, indoor-safe alternative to a small generator with none of the fumes and none of the pull cord drama. The design is straightforward and sturdy. The shell is a matte gray that hides scuffs. The handle runs across the top, and it is shaped well enough that carrying it with one hand does not bite into your fingers, even though it weighs just over 48 pounds. I am not carrying it up flights of stairs for fun, but I have no issues moving it from the garage to the car or from the trunk to a campsite. The footprint is reasonable for the capacity you get, which matters when you are trying to tuck it behind a couch or under a workbench. There are covered ports on the front and side that stay out of the way instead of flapping around. On top, there are two wireless phone charging pads that have become my default drop spot for a quick top-up. There is also a small storage compartment built into the body. I keep the alternating current cable and a couple of universal serial bus cables in there, so I am not hunting through bags for them. Setup is almost no setup. I took it out of the box, plugged it into a wall outlet, and the alternating current fast charging kicked in. The liquid crystal display wakes up with clear input and output numbers and a remaining time estimate that adjusts as loads change. There are a few buttons to toggle the alternating current bank, the direct current ports, and the wireless charging, and after a day of use my muscle memory had it down. I paired it with the mobile application over a simple wireless connection. The application mirrors the screen well and lets me switch ports on or off and watch wattage in real time from across the yard. That little bit of remote control is surprisingly helpful when I am sitting by the fire and want to kill the alternating current outlets without getting up. Where it really earns a spot in my gear is the way it delivers power. The inverter is a pure sine wave, which is what you want if you are plugging in sensitive electronics. I have used laptops, camera chargers, and a continuous positive airway pressure machine, and none of them showed any signs of electrical noise. No coil whine, no screen flicker, no strange behavior. The continuous output is rated at 2,400 watts, which sounds like a big number on paper, but the real takeaway is this. Coffee makers, induction plates, shop vacs, and small space heaters all fall into that ballpark. I ran a compact coffee machine in the morning, and later the same day I used a power tool for a small repair, and the AFERIY did not protest. Capacity is the other piece that changes the experience. There are 2,048 watt-hours on tap. In practice, that means I can cover an overnight outage without babysitting. One evening I had a small refrigerator, a continuous positive airway pressure machine, a couple of fans, and a laptop all running. The battery gauge dropped predictably and nothing tripped. The next morning I still had enough left to boil water for coffee. On camping weekends, it becomes the hub. I charge camera batteries, a drone, 2 phones on the wireless pads, and a laptop on the universal serial bus Type-C port that can actually push enough power to charge a modern notebook at full speed. I once plugged in 6 things at the same time just to see if the protection circuits would complain. It handled the load without drama. Noise is something I am sensitive to at night. Under light loads, the fans barely spin. With just the continuous positive airway pressure machine, it stayed around a soft whisper, somewhere in the range of about 16 to 30 decibels. When you push it hard, the fans do ramp up, but even then the tone is a clean whoosh, not a whine, and it settles down quickly once the heavy draw ends. Heat management seems solid. I have had it running in a warm garage, and the case never became more than mildly warm to the touch. Charging speed was a surprise the first time. The alternating current input can pull up to about 1,800 watts, and that means a near empty to full charge in roughly an hour and a half. For last-minute trips, that is huge. I can top it off while I am packing and not worry about leaving hours earlier just to charge. With solar, it will take up to 500 watts. On a clear day with panels angled well, I saw it go from low to ready in roughly 3 to 4 hours. Solar panels are not included, so plan that as a separate ad if you spend a lot of time off-grid. Even without solar, the wall charging is fast enough that I do not stress about turnaround time between uses. The uninterruptible power supply mode has already proved its worth. I tested it at my desk by plugging the station into the wall and then plugging my desktop computer into the station. I pulled the wall plug to simulate a power cut. The switch to battery power happened in under 10 milliseconds. The screen stayed on. No restart. No corrupted files. For anything that should not blink off like a desktop, a modem and router, or medical gear, that seamless handoff is exactly what you want in a backup device. There are a few small things I learned living with it. The interface has a lot of information at first glance. The icons for temperature and warnings are not mysterious, but I needed a couple of days to learn where everything sits. The weight is the trade-off for the battery chemistry and build quality. If you count every ounce, you will notice it. I would not haul it solo on a long hike. The solar ceiling of 500 watts means you need to be realistic about how quickly you can refill it with a small array. And keep it dry. It is built tough, but it is not meant to live in rain. The battery chemistry here is lithium iron phosphate. That matters for safety and for lifespan. The manufacturer rates it for more than 3,500 cycles before it drops to 80% of its original capacity. I obviously have not put years of cycles on it yet, but I have run multiple full drains and charges and performance has stayed consistent. The company backs it with a 7-year warranty, which is a confident signal that this is meant to be used, not bobbied. For a specific use case, let me walk through my backyard movie night setup. I set the AFERIY P210 behind the chairs and left the alternating current bank on. A compact projector and a small set of powered speakers were on one outlet strip. I charged my phone by setting it on the wireless pad so I could keep it near the remote. A tablet for the kids charged on the universal serial bus Type-C port. The fans came on briefly when everything first ramped up, then settled into a quiet state for the rest of the night. When the credits rolled, I still had plenty of battery left. No extension cords across the lawn, no tripping hazards, and most importantly, no noise and fumes to ruin the mood. What sets this unit apart for me is how complete it feels day to day. The port selection covers what I need. Alternating current outlets for household plugs. Universal serial bus ports, including high-power Type-C that can actually replace a laptop charger. A 12-volt car-style socket for a cooler or an air pump. Wireless charging pads for drop-and-go convenience. The port covers do not get in the way. The storage compartment keeps cables under control. The mobile application lets me be lazy and manage it from a chair. None of these are flashy on their own, but together they make the AFERIY P210 a tool I want to use rather than a thing that sits on a shelf. If you want reliable backup for power outages, if you head out on regular camping trips, or if you run gear that you do not want to shut off even for a moment, this is a smart buy. You do need to be okay with the weight, and you should plan where it will live and how you will charge it, especially if you are thinking about solar. If you can make peace with those two realities, the payoff is real. You get clean, stable power from a device that charges quickly, runs quietly, and is built to last years, not months. I will update specific information about the AFERY P210 in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.